So I love rest too. Um, my name's Eli. Welcome, everybody. I'm glad you're here, or if you're watching this online later, I'm glad you came back to this. Um, Today, I really wanted to. I've been kind of doing the expansive sits on a seasonal rotation, and for the spring one, I wanted to think about rebirth. We think about, in a lot of Buddhist contexts, karma and rebirth are words that get thrown around a lot. In just looking outside, birth is very visible and alive happening, right? Spring is a lot of the time, all the animals are having their little babies. You see the little baby deers come out, the flowers come back, especially if you're in a dramatic climate. Um, like me in Chicago, things really were gone for a while and they really come back to life. And thinking of this concept of birth and rebirth kind of living in the same word, per se. Um, Welcome, Ellen. Hi. I'm just introducing everything. Glad you're here. Today, I wanted to talk about rebirth and birth and really diving into thinking of what embodiment could be as continual rebirth, right? What if instead of thinking of rebirth as, okay, I live a life, I die, there's, another version of me, or there's whatever you think comes after, there's a new thing, right? Something has to fully end, and then a new thing begins, kind of black and white like that. What if instead rebirth could be finding ourselves in everything? We could give birth to ourselves and be reborn in each moment by discovering kind of our own unlimitedness. And a way to get there for me is through embodiment, is through the body. And reconnecting with myself ends up making me feel so much more than just this one little body. And in thinking of, you know, making this a space specifically for queer and trans people who have various systemic oppressive forces, dictating the ways that they should or shouldn't, or that are legal or not legal to use or enjoy or experience their bodies, I think often it can be a scary thing to get embodied, to really sit with ourselves and open ourselves up to the possibility that has been kind of, at least logically or like rhetorically, that's not a word, explained away from us, right? To really reclaim that expansiveness and that kind of unlimitedness. I think of when I was younger and growing up, various versions of coming out. I remember always feeling like I had to be so sure. I was like, I can't get it wrong, and I have to know exactly what I am and how to explain it, and I can't take it back. So I gotta be sure when I say it because everybody's gonna have questions. I'm gonna have to defend myself against all these people to feel like I'm justified in my identity. And as I grow and age and experience more things, I've come to kind of feel less and less like I ever come out at all. And more than that, like I really need to define myself in one way. I think I've been able to trust that I'm here enough now. So I don't have to look one specific way that I'm protecting or safeguarding or pretending that I can keep up forever. And so, in the spirit, ooh, welcome, Sada. In the spirit of that kind of energy of really finding ourselves reborn in any given moment, finding our sensations as something that can come alive and be reborn, right? Our joy doesn't have to be something that we're chasing, it can be something that is born and reborn out of our bodies at all times. And so today I wanted to walk us through some gentle little chunks of meditative exercises. We'll start with just a little opening body scan, do some stretching, some little gentle movements. We'll move that into a little guided breathing and the bells. And we'll do a silent sit and end with a guided visualization before I share a little bit more at the end, and then we can all share and say goodbye. Everything we do today is opt in, opt out. if you need to take a break, if you need to go off camera, if you need to do something other than what I am saying, I hope you really take this time to listen to your bodies, to listen to yourself, to maybe give yourself that benefit of the doubt wherever that trust is hard to find. And with this kind of gentle holding of community, maybe we can create a little safe container to let go and to just let what arises arise and what falls away fall away. So, with that said, go ahead and get nice and comfortable. You can sit up or lay down for this. I'll be sitting up, and feel free to switch positions at any time. I'll ring the bell once and then we'll begin. Take a deep breath in and slowly let it out. Take a moment to join yourself and your body exactly right now, exactly where you rest. Notice the weight of your clothes against you, perhaps the density, cushion of the surface below you. Notice the temperature of the air, whether your hands and feet are warm or cold, or somewhere in between. Notice the breath coming in and out of your body. No need to change it, to make it slow, fast, deeper. Simply observe it as it is. Inhaling and exhaling, letting each breath come to life and slip away. And take a moment to gently start moving the body from left to right, feeling a soft sway in the neck. You might move this movement into a circling. And breathe in and out slowly. As you feel the weight of your body ground down into the hips, into the seat, into the surface beneath you. Feel that ground supporting you, holding you up. You might rotate, thinking of the spine and the center of the body, slowly stretching out, vertebrae by vertebrae. And bring the shoulders up towards the ears, and then let them slowly drop back, doing a few circles, really feeling into the body. You might let the arms outstretch completely and do a few wide circles, reaching the fingertips out, stretching through the pinkies. and just feeling, perhaps moving into some wrist rolls. Really listen to your body, moving wherever it's asking you to move right now. You could interlace the fingers and gently roll them. And then shake out the hands before letting them rest. Try to release any tension in the lower back as you settle in downwards. Let the shoulders drop away from the ears. Let the elbows feel heavy. Notice any warmth in the palms. Bring your awareness into your jaw, perhaps stretching or just releasing any tension. Try and relax the forehead, the space between the brows. And then bring your awareness back into the breath. Feel your stomach slowly inflate, your belly and back fill with breath on the inhales, and let it out slowly, softening whatever part of our bodies allow for softening on the exhales. If any aches or pains remain, we might simply notice them, be with them, accept them for how they are. Sit with them today, without judgment, noting that pain can be an indicator of where we might direct our care. Today, as we gently move through these exercises, the invitation is to come back to right here, right now, into your body, into whatever you need, and to give birth to the care that you so abundantly deserve, again and again and again. Take a moment to stretch out, drink some water if you need to, and we'll move into our guided breathing and sound bath in a second here. Also, no pressure to be completely still, even when I'm describing still things. You can always move however you need to or want to. Okay, for this next section, It's going to be kind of choose your own adventure, how much you want to interact with the options. So there's just a listening option, which I'll describe first. We'll be doing some bell breaths together. So we'll be breathing in with a high bell, out with the low bell. By way of thumbs up, can you all hear that? Yeah? Okay, perfect. So we'll be breathing in with the high bell, out with the low bell, really kind of diving into that theme of rebirth, thinking of these sounds as another thing that can be born, right? These physical sound waves are an actual thing that's passing through us. And so we can experience their little journey through our body kind of in a deeper way sometimes. And we will breathe a few times just with the bells. And then I'll invite us to the option of chanting. And so we'll just do 3 sounds today. We'll go through the body, thinking of the head, neck, and shoulders. We'll chant ah. So just ah, like an A, with the big bell as the exhales. And I'll do it, a few times over. So you can listen, you can hear me start it, you can join in whenever, you can join in and stop, you can just hear it. Either way is fine. Whatever you do, in any moment, just give yourself to it fully. And after ah, we'll go into our torso, our midsection. We'll think of those vibrations reaching down even further, and we'll make the sound O. Oh, thinking of that. And then we'll move all the way down into the lower half of the body, whether you're laying down or sitting up, it's fine. But we'll think of that vibration fully going down, radiating through our body, all the way down into our toes. And that one will be Om. So, Om. So I'll guide us through. It'll be easy to follow along as we go through. Or I shouldn't say it will be easy. I'll do my best to be clear. But feel free to listen or chant along. Nobody can hear you, at least in this Zoom room. So feel free to be loud, be soft, make a squeak. Your voice can crack. It's okay. The point is just to find our bodies, to use that kind of humming that we've been doing for so long. One of the first sounds that soothe us as babies is somebody's heartbeat, somebody's rhythms of their body and their gentle kind of breathing and humming, right? We kind of co-regulate first with that. And that's something I really enjoy offering to myself. And so I hope we can all offer it to ourselves right now. Okay, so get nice and comfortable. We'll start with just some simple bell breathing, and we'll progress along for the next few minutes. Okay, we'll start with a clearing breath. Take a deep breath in. Let it all out. Inhale. Exhale. relax your body, relax the container for your breath. One last deep breath in. Hold it at the top, dropping the shoulders, finding ease in the belly, and let it all go. Take a few moments to breathe naturally, find your own rhythm. And as you do so, bring your awareness into your head, neck, and shoulders, into the throat. Perhaps you notice how the inside of your mouth feels, seeing if you can relax the tongue. And we'll do 5 breaths in a row, inhaling deep and exhaling with the bell or chanting ah, imagining the sound waves that we're producing filling that area, and everywhere they touch they seek to give space, give a little warmth, a little light, a little healing, whatever you need today. We'll try to find it here, create it here. Clearing breath, deep breath in, let it all out. Inhale. Take a few clearing breaths at your own pace. Take a moment to rest in this awareness. Whatever is coming alive for you right now. Perhaps you offer a greeting, an invitation to stay. As we gently move our awareness into the torso, feeling into the belly, feeling into the low back, doing what we need, adjusting how we need to be comfortable, feeling our breath really fill the lungs in each direction. And this time we'll do the same thing, inhaling with the high bell and exhaling O. breath in. Breathe at your own pace. And take a moment to rest in this awareness, this new body. Feeling the fresh movement of blood in your veins, the oxygen coming in through the lungs, into the organs. This truly fresh body that's happening, creating itself right now as a miraculous system of systems, collaboration of care. And we'll move into the last chant, which will be Om, as we focus into the lower part of the body, everything below the hips, really settling down. A reminder, your chant doesn't have to sound like mine, be longer or shorter than mine, whatever feels right. And we'll take a deep breath in. Let your breath flow in and out, however it seeks to. And take a moment to rest in this awareness. To greet this body, this breath, this feeling. And to let it go. Take a moment to stretch out, move your legs if you've been still for a little bit. Perhaps stand and take a seat. We'll take just a minute or two here to really reset as we're a little more than halfway through. If you're a chronic same foot over the other foot person, perhaps you flip them for a little bit, give your hips a little ease. But if it's just comfy, do you. I really never like to sit with my left foot on top, but I know I should for like my alignment, you know. Oh, when I'm old, I'm gonna be just like this, just from one knee up for the whole life. Okay, so we'll move into our next little segment. What time is it? Oh, perfect. We're right on time. We'll take some time to do a little silent sit, just joining our bodies, getting space. During the silent sit, you can be still, you can be gently stretching, you can journal, whatever feels best for you. We're going to take about 10 minutes in total. I'll start with the drum, give instructions, give some options for breathing and sitting. But we'll take 10 minutes in total as just some silence to kind of return to ground into. Perhaps sitting with whatever came up with us, for us in this past half hour, 40 minutes. And then we'll move that into a guided visualization where we will practice a little bit more embodiment and see what we can let our imaginations aid what our bodies cannot. So that'll be our little progression, and then we'll close out with some sharing and some sharing from anybody who wants to. So get nice and comfortable. I'll open up with the block. Take that kind of minute as your grounding time. Really find where you want to be, even if it changes for now. Find how you want to be. And then I will ring the bell and we'll begin. If you'd like, place your palms together at the heart and we'll bow. Let your hands be at rest as you gently move your upper body from right to left, then forwards and back, finding your center point. Sit up through your center, spine softly straight. Sit down through your center, rooting into your chair, cushion, floor, rooting into the earth. You might have your eyes closed, or you might find a spot on the floor several feet in front of you, and with your eyes half open and half closed, gently gaze out through that spot. Breathe in and out through the nose with the mouth closed. Breathing in, fill your belly and back with breath, and breathing out, count 1. Continue counting your exhales like this until you reach 10, and then start again. If you lose your place, start again. Whatever thoughts, feelings, or sensations arise, find your breath and start again. Let them go. Whatever thoughts arise, whatever sensations persist, sit like a boulder in a rushing stream. The water comes, the water goes. Let your thoughts come, and let your thoughts go. adjust if you need to. And we'll move into our final practice here, the visualization. For this visualization, we'll be picturing, and if visualizations aren't your thing, there's also the option to stretch, to journal. The same variety of things are there for you. But if you'd like to follow along, we'll be thinking of ourselves out on the beach, looking at the ocean, or on a really big lake that has a horizon, anywhere where you can't see the other side of the water. So take a moment to think of where you want to be, and we'll imagine a nice warm day together. Oh, I'm gonna stretch out my legs for this one. Okay, I'll ring the bell and then we'll begin. Take a deep breath in. Let it out slow. If you feel comfortable, perhaps you let your eyes close. And take a moment to imagine yourself standing in front of the ocean. You see the waves rolling in gently. You can feel the mist in the breeze, the smell of salt. You feel the sun gently reaching out towards your skin, warming you, almost from the inside out. As the breeze slowly rolls over your arms and chest, the sky is blue, perhaps a few clouds floating by, and the ocean is gently glistening, reflecting off that deep blue. It's the middle of the day and the sun is high, so we're able to look straight out into the horizon, noticing where that infinite stretch of water meets that infinite stretch of sky. We'll take a few moments to breathe with this horizon. As we breathe in, we notice the waves coming up to the shore, the water approaching us, the birds flying. As we breathe out, we notice the water receding, the waves joining back into the larger body of water. And we'll let the waves simply give birth to themselves again and again with our breath. Feeling that breath draw all the way from the horizon into your lungs, leaving your lungs and seeping all the way back out into the horizon. As we breathe with the water, we look out into that space of no space between the water and the skyline, that little tiny line, that break. We feel the part of us that is water, the 70% of us that is made up of water. And perhaps we imagine that the end of our body isn't our fingertips or toes, but that we are one body with this water. As our feet sink into the earth that lives under and holds up the water, that moves with the waves, the sand, being pushed into the seas, let out, pulled back again. Perhaps our sense of self can expand like this. And we can let our own heart, spirit, breath become the horizon. Expand past and through and inside of it. As we breathe in and out. The wind comes in, comes out. The clouds seep in, seep out. Our breath becomes the tides, becomes the gravity, the pull of the moon, and the weight of the sun. As we breathe in and out, we recognize all these systems. Infinitely becoming each other, being born, becoming new. We recognize this fresh body, this new awareness. This me, exactly the same, and radically different, changed in each breath. Take a moment to stretch out if you need to, drink some water. Thank you so much for sitting with me today. I really appreciated doing these practices with you all. I wanted to share just for a couple minutes before opening up the space for any feedback or comments or check-ins. It's been a long week for me, long week in a set of long weeks in a set of long months. And I was been really thinking about this idea of opening myself up to everything that is asking to be born inside of me right now. I think often with things like grief, with things like chronic illness, with things like navigating, living in the United States, with anything difficult, there can be, for me, I sense a kind of like hesitation in really letting myself sit with heartbreak in that kind of all-encompassing way, to let myself feel my grief as big as it wants to be, and to create conditions that allow me to be safe enough to allow me to let myself do that. And I think for me, that safety is often born and reborn within community, within settings like this, within spaces where I'm able to breathe with people, to slow down, and to really get the chance to check in and to ask myself, even if I don't feel completely safe, I can start to dream, I think, in these settings. If I were safe, what would I want for myself? How could I build that into my life even before I get to that safety part, right? And so, in this idea of rebirth and spring and embodiment, and really letting my sense of self be expansive, I was sitting in a jail cell over the weekend and had the kind of very real life practice of, okay, I am with just me, and all I can do is sit here and be with myself. There's not even a fake distraction to have, and it's very quiet, silent, middle of the night, middle of nowhere, Wisconsin. And at first I was just telling myself to calm down, which was helpful. I was trying to ground and trying to not let myself become too anxious, too hyper vigilant, things like that, which I think were good. They created some kind of safety within my regulatory system, within my nervous system. But then I kind of kept going along that track. And I was thinking, let's not be sad until this is figured out. Let's figure out all the logistics. Let's get me out. Let's figure out what I need to. And then I can feel what I need to feel, the heft of this, right? I didn't want to fall apart. But kind of just sitting there, it didn't feel, it felt like violence to myself. And I didn't have the space for any more violence that night, for any other part of me to have to shut down or to not be able to really give birth to what it wanted to in that moment, experience the freedom that it wanted, even my grief. And so instead of trying to put things away like I am used to doing, I kind of am very good at packaging it up for later and thinking that it'll not grow or change while I leave it in the closet, right? And so instead of that, I just, honestly, I was too tired to do anything else, but I just accepted, I'm going to feel whatever this process looks like from here on out. And it's okay if I stop and I have to restart. I'm going to try to feel my grief and greet it and let it live with my joy instead of alternating the times that I let them both thrive or picking specific times to tend to just one or just the other. Even though one might be needing more than the other, I still want to tend to all of the different experiences that my body is having right now, that my mind and my community is having right now. My community of me and myself and my memories and all the people who I am able to be with when I'm just by myself, and the physical people that are also going through this with me in different places. And I was just kind of overcome in a couple moments with this idea that it's all being born right now. The peace that I want to make in the world, even in this cell, is being born. My friends I know are in the car on the way coming to another state in the middle of the night to get me. The ways of being in the world are being created, not in a silver lining way that I'm glad I got arrested so that my friends could help me out, right? That can happen in any circumstance, but in the just realistic way that our community is engaging in radical acts of love, even in that moment when I feel so alone and grievous or enraged or afraid. That is part of the revolution. Me allowing myself to be vulnerable, to make the call, to ask for help, to let all of this painful part of myself, to acknowledge it so that I can let it heal and have a place to rest and really seek more community, I think is so much of the like abolition starts at home for me. That kind of idea distills into that. When I need help, can I ask for it? And can I let myself know how much help I need? Can I really say, this is what I need, and I am opening myself up to accepting all of what I deserve, not just what I wish I had, right? Do I really believe that every person deserves to be safe? Does that include me? Is my sense of self kind of taking me out of the care that I think everybody else deserves because of that like ego, that division, that kind of barrier we put, those walls that we put for safety for a lot of reasons, but that keep us separate, right? And I apologize if this is a little abstract. I'm not doing my best thinking, but I think through that kind of dissolution of self, through imagining myself into that horizon, through sitting in the cell and seeing myself as the wind, as the ocean, as my friends. I wasn't kind of just a victim of circumstance, right? I'm also the hero in that story. I see myself as my friends. I see myself as the person in the cell. I see myself as the community coming together. All of that love is what we are creating and what is giving birth to itself over and over again and creating these more loving conditions within systems and without systems of oppression, right? Creating this dreaming capacity where something bad can happen to me or something difficult can arise and I'm not alone without help, without hope. I'm grounded in my connection through the honesty of knowing my needs and the needs of those around me and the peace that we all deserve and really fighting for that. And so as we close out this day, uh, afternoon for some of you, kind of evening for some of the others, I hope we could get a chance during this hour or during whatever comes next for you to really ground in that sense of rebirth, whatever that meant to you today or whatever it means to you later. When the grief comes, how can we really let it come as fresh and alive, as new lessons, as new connection, as new grounding sense of self, sense of interdependence, rather than an obstacle to deal with, a setback to finding those things, or a deviation from the path of diving into yourself? How can the difficult lessons feel just as inviting as the joyous ones, or the sublime ones, or the easy ones? How can we feel them as an embrace as well? I think is the questions that I've been sitting with, um, and the just feelings I've been moving through for spring. So thank you all so much for listening to me today. I really, really appreciate it.